Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Yesterday Blizzard announced Hearthstone's new upcoming expansion coming on March 19th, Whizbang's Workshop. This expansion will start Hearthstone's 11th year. Hearthstone is turning 10 this March, and in this video I want to talk a little bit about innovation in a game as old as this, because Whizbang's Workshop has some great innovation in it. It has innovation in good and it has innovation in bad, and let's take a look at what innovation Hearthstone can still have at 10 years old. First of all, like all expansions, Whizbang's Workshop is going to come with a new keyword, miniaturize. Some of Whizbang's creations come with their own fun-sized copy. Whenever you play a card with miniaturize, you get a 1-mana 1/1 copy added to your hand. Play the mini version right away for tempo, or save it for a cheap powerful effect when the time is just right. And this is actually really fun and really novel, really innovative new keyword. I like this a lot. I think this probably tends to favor combo decks, like this Geodrake example, for example. Choose one, gain spell damage +1 or draw a spell. So for 4 mana you draw a spell, and then later on for 1 mana you're going to gain spell damage +1, and then you're going to pew 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 pew. Some kind of things like that. So yeah, it might favor combo decks, which is something that I'm a little bit concerned about. On the other hand, that can be balanced in game design, in designing the cards. Overall, I do like this keyword a lot. There have been lots of keywords that just don't seem to do much of anything. But this keyword is unique and it looks like a lot of fun. So, alright, even though Hearthstone is 10 years old, they can still innovate. And speaking of innovation, we also have Zeddy Deluxe 3000 coming, a legendary card. While building your deck, customize your very own Zeddy Deluxe 3000, which is going to consist of 8 modules. And when you're building your deck, you choose 2 modules, 2 different modules that you then add to your deck, and your Zeddy is going to consist of those 2 modules. So if I put together a recursive module and twin module, then I have a 5-mana 4/4 that comes in 2 copies with death rattles to shuffle copies of those into your deck. So yeah, that's 28 cards in one, and players get to construct those cards as they wish. So I do like this a lot. I think this is also tremendously fun. Makes good use of digital landscapes that Hearthstone is built in. Allows for some player agency, although of course playtesting has been done on all 28 modules, so 28 different types of Zeddy that you can build. And I don't think they look overpowering by any means, but I'm sure people will be able to come up with some fun combinations out of these that fit their deck. So, alright, we have a nice new keyword. We have a nice new card that you can build your own card. So, bonus points for those. 10 years old game and still rocking. And then we have the bad aspects of new innovation at Blizzard. And that is this one. Pre-purchase Whizbang's Workshop and get an early access card. Whoa. Whizbang has one more special surprise for you. Every Whizbang's Workshop pre-purchase bundle comes with 2 copies of Corridor Sleeper, an early access epic card. Don't sleep on this deal. Get your pre-purchase bundle and start playing with this new expansion card right away. Early access period lasts from time of pre-purchase until expansion launch on March 19. Once expansion launches, Sleeper will be available for all players. If you buy both pre-purchase bundles, you will receive 4 copies. Extra copies will be able to be disenchanted. Well, now this is not great news at all. Adding cards that are only accessible if you pay a rather significant sum of money in the game, yeah, that doesn't sound a lot of fun at all. There is a small upside to this, and that upside is that these 2 epic cards have just been added to the regular bundles. The Mega Bundle and the Standard Bundle, they both now include these epic cards, and other than that, the contents are exactly the same as last time, and price is exactly the same as last time. So these bundles now include more value than they did before. So people are not paying extra, in the sense that if you were going to buy the bundle anyway, you're just getting more for your money than you did before. So that is obviously great. Of course, you could also consider, does that mean something about sales volumes of Hearthstone, that they try to add more value without adding more price, that they really want people to buy these things? Okay, of course that is an indication of that, but still. So that's fine, but the whole concept of an early access or exclusive card, that does fit really poorly with this kind of game, this kind of free-to-play game. Basically, this breaks the implicit social contract that we have between Blizzard and us players. And the contract has been that you can play any deck in Hearthstone for free. Any deck whatsoever. You can play any deck for free, but in practice, if you're a free-to-play player, you can't play every deck for free. So you're able to gather cards, you're able to disenchant your cards and craft cards, so any individual deck is within your reach, even if you don't pay a penny. But if you don't pay a penny, then you won't be able to experience all the different decks, because if you just disenchant your cards and you craft new decks, then because the conversion rate is not very good, then that means that you're going to just get lower and lower in dust, and then you just can't do anything eventually if you just keep switching decks around. But now, this is literally not accessible to people. People cannot play with this card unless they pay. Okay, then the next argument is that, hey, what if the card is bad? Okay, well, if the card is bad, then why add it in the first place there? What good does it do? And if the card is good, then it's even much worse, because then there's going to be some powerful meta decks that are inaccessible to some of the players. So it's just really, really hard to find an upside to this. Hearthstone does have a long history of giving cards from the next expansion in advance, but that's been different, because those cards have been given to all players, so everyone has been able to play with these, but not with the corridor sleepers. I find it hard to find any real precedents to this. Like, the closest I can think of is probably Nexus of Fate from Magic the Gathering. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Nexus of Fate was also a card that you couldn't always easily get access to, because Nexus of Fate was a buy a box promo card. So you had to buy a box of cards during the promotional period, and you got a Nexus of Fate. And that was the only way to get Nexus of Fate. You couldn't get Nexus of Fate in regular boosters at all. And the story may rhyme, and somewhat ironically, this was the second buy a box promo card. The first one wasn't that great. The second, Nexus of Fate, this saw competitive play. So that's also like the risk that people are talking about right now. Hey, okay, I don't know if Corridor Sleeper is going to be good. It does see some play right now in Death Knight, though. It does look like it's a playable card in Death Knight. But even if it wasn't, well, if it isn't good, then what about next time? Because exactly that thing happened in Magic the Gathering with these buy a box promo cards. But that is still a little bit different, because of course there's a secondary market for Magic cards, and this wasn't available in advance, so not a perfect fit. Another source of inspiration that we can look for is various sales of early access to games. Not the types of early access where the game goes into early access while it's still in development, and then it's developed for months on Steam or somewhere, and some people can play the incomplete versions, but the kind of early access where the game is actually complete, and you just allow some people to play it a little bit early. As it happens, this is exactly what Blizzard has been doing lately, because in World of Warcraft, the next expansion that's coming this year, The War Within, is the first World of Warcraft expansion where you can buy early access. If you buy the Epic edition of the game, you get early access to the game. You get 3 days of early access. You can play the game for 3 days before anyone else. Well, people who buy Heroic Edition or Base Edition, if you compare the Base Edition, if you were happy with the Base Edition and you need the early access, that's going to be $40 for being able to play the game for 3 days. Well, how bad is that? In World of Warcraft, competitive play opens up with a delay, so after the release, people are already able to log in at release date, their regular release date, and they will be able to level up at least one character so that they will be ready for competitive play. But something like top raiding guilds, where they do split runs, so they need multiple characters from each player, having 3 days of early access so that you will have more time to level up multiple characters so that you're ready when competitive opens, yeah, that is an actual advantage. So In some ways it doesn't give a huge advantage, but in some ways it does give you an advantage as well in the game. And that's being sold for money. So Blizzard is already moving towards this idea of selling early access as a means to monetize their products better. Hey, people who want to get in early, yeah, you can do so, just pay us more. But Blizzard is not alone with this. This is actually one of the rising top trends in the industry. One example from last year that we can look at is Starfield. Starfield had paid early access. You could pay $30 for up to 5 days of early access, and during that early access period, the game had more than 230,000 concurrent players. Well, that's a lot of players. I don't even know how many different players there were. But even the 230,000 concurrent players, that means $6.9 million in extra revenue just from opening the game 5 days early for some people. So actually delaying the launch of the game by 5 days for people who didn't pay extra. Yeah, and this is not the only one. There's tons and tons of examples, but just one example of how game companies right now have noticed that, hey, delaying the launch for people who pay less and charging more for people who want to get into the game as soon as possible can actually make us millions and millions, and we don't even have to do anything. They don't even have to do anything. It's just free money. It's just free money that's laying there and waiting for all of these game companies to come pick it up. And it works. The thing is, it really, really works. So what can I say about paid early access? Paid early access in general in gaming is here to stay. People are willing to pay, and if you're willing to pay for something and the game companies get this money practically completely for free, they don't have to do anything really to get that money, then yeah, they're going to take that money, absolutely. And Blizzard is on this journey. Blizzard has seen that other people are getting free money, and they want free money too. And what can you do about it? People are willing to pay, Blizzard is willing to take the money. The bigger question is, how do you really do it in multiplayer games? How do you really do it in card games? If you think about the example of Starfield, Starfield is a single player game. So, okay. You can sell that in advance, fine. World of Warcraft, yeah, we're getting on a bit of a shaky ground here. But when that was announced, Reddit was up in flames for 2 days, and then everyone just moved on and bought it anyway. What about card games? Now we're into card games. It's coming to Hearthstone. And that is maybe a step too far. I'm also worried about what kind of signal is this going to give to Blizzard, because now the bundles are undoubtedly better than they were last time. They cost the same, but they also give you 2 epic cards, which is still a bunch of dust. And also you get to open more of the epic cards of the expansion. So will Blizzard draw the right conclusions? If the bundle sales improve, they will be like, hey, they bought this because we added this early access card. Well, maybe they bought it because you added more value to the bundle. But on the other hand, it's just such a simple way for Blizzard to indicate that, hey, our bundle now has more value in it. Look at this card. It doesn't even have to give a ton of value. Just say, hey, look, card. You get card. Yeah, people are going to pay for that. People will buy that. But I don't think it's good for the integrity of the game. I have tried to think about it, okay, if people are willing to pay for these things and companies want to offer that, then what's wrong? And in this specific case, about adding cards that are not accessible by any other means, even though it's temporary, you can get it 1 month later, but I still think that it is detrimental to the competitive integrity of the game. It's detrimental to the contract that we have had with Blizzard, implicit contract, social contract, about what a free-to-play player can expect from the game. They can expect that they can play any deck. That has been consistent, but now it isn't. Even if it's for a limited period of time, even if the card is not going to be meta-defining, because who knows, maybe the next card will be, and if this is successful, they will just keep doing it. I'm not happy about this. I think this is bad for the integrity of the game. I also think that people are going to buy these bundles, and Blizzard probably is going to repeat this. I don't know what can even be done about it. Easy monetization. That's what early access has been. And as long as companies can get away with it, they're going to just grab that free money that's just laying there and waiting for them. I don't really think Blizzard is going to have to pay for this at all, so yeah. Unfortunate that they could not figure out other ways to make the bundle more attractive so that they could increase their sales. That's how it goes, I guess. So innovation in Hearthstone. Good innovation, because I like a lot of things that are coming in this expansion. And bad innovation, because I don't think they should offer these cards in this form. I do not think that is the right thing to do for the game. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.